Have you ever wondered what it'd be like if you and your pets could understand each other? Expanding from the words of sit or walk and conversing like person to person, friend to friend. That's cool and all, right? But now imagine if an animal had a human's face. That's where the manga called Jinmen comes in. Jinmen is a horror thriller manga created by Takahiro Kato. Sadly though, there is no English release. Pawan scans and SVQ scans, and a couple chapters by Undead scans. Unfortunately, all three groups dropped the series, but let's be grateful they even translated it at all. So shout out to these three. I'm sure that translating, redrawing, and editing a manga for free takes up a lot of time and hard work. Animals with human faces is such a simple concept, but holy crap, it's something simple but really uncanny. After all, you would never expect an animal to have a human's face. The faces the characters make in this manga is straight up just unsettling, especially the Jinmen. The emotions are drawn so raw and vigorous. It makes you see just what type of emotion they are feeling in that moment. It really gives off a very unnerving feeling because of its unnaturalness. An animal should not have the face of a human. Imagery of characters with such powerful emotions and art drawn with rough lines. It's uncanny, because we are used to these faces now, the way the characters are drawn in a typical manga fashion. But when their faces are drawn with such detail, the details of these cutesy anime characters twisted and shaded to show the absolute dread or anger or whatever powerful emotion they're feeling, it really sucks you in the manga, making you feel what the characters are feeling. Masato is a teenage boy who just returned to his hometown after moving away. Masato isn't your average Joe, no. He is someone unique and special. The first thing Masato visits after coming back to his hometown is his favorite location when he was a child, Fuji Safari World, a zoo Masato would often visit. The zoo has a variety of animals, but Masato's favorite was the elephant section because that's where his best friend, Hanayo the elephant, was. The special trait about Masato is his power to communicate and understand the animals. Thanks to that, Masato and Hanayo were able to become best friends. We first see this power in the beginning of the first chapter. Masato has come back to the zoo after 7 years since moving away. Hanayo is upset and causing a ruckus inside her cage. Masato appears and goes inside the dangerous cage with a rampaging elephant and quickly calms Hanayo down with ease. There is a reason why Masato has this power, which I won't be explaining. Of course, Masato won't be able to get into the cage without a zoo employee stopping him. Fortunately, an employee Masato knows lets him inside. Nakata is an animal carer and employee of Fuji Safari World. Nakata and Masato goes way back to before Masato moved away. Ever since Nakata was a newcomer, Masato always had that uncanny power of getting really well with animals. Nakata also has a few secrets to hide. He isn't what he seems to be, although he really does seem to be on Masato's side. Masato notices that the animal seems a bit more aggressive now, since he last visited 7 years ago. Nakata explains that the director of the zoo changed, and so did with the treatment of animals. The next day, Masato visits the zoo with his childhood friend Hitomi. Because of Masato's ability, he became bullied and ostracized by his classmates. Hitomi was the only one who defended him and stuck by his side despite him being bullied. Hitomi has grown big now and the pair ventured into the zoo early in the morning. No guests are there except for them, but also the animals are missing. Masato reasons they're in their cages. After a while of walking and seeing no animals, a man from the distance is seen running towards them before getting attacked by wild beasts. Masato grabs Hitomi's hands and they run to Hanayo's cage in order to find Nakata. Masato doesn't seem to have noticed that Hitomi is muttering something about the face, looking absolutely flabbergasted. That's probably nothing to worry about, so let's just focus on getting to the elephant section and finding Nakata. Masato and Hitomi get to the elephant section to find Nakata passed out inside Hanayo's cage, and the director of the zoo begging them to open the door. They open the door, but just before the director gets out, he gets grabbed by an elephant trunk and gets dragged into the darkness, leaving a trail of agonizing screams behind. The last page shows the fate of the director and Hanayo's new face. Wow, and all of that happened in the first chapter. It's a very good setup in the beginning. The author gave enough information about the characters, while also saving bits for future chapters to touch upon. I also love that they didn't show the Jinmen right away, only giving us Hitomi's face and reaction to her seeing the faces of the animals, while keeping Masato and the viewers oblivious to what Hitomi saw. It reminds me of Junji Ito's way of paneling, where before the horrific main sight is shown, we are first given the reactions of the main characters, as a way to hint that we are about to see something utterly undescribable. In the story, this keeps the suspense and mystery up for the viewers as to what Hitomi saw. And the last panel is what hooked me into the series. It was then and there that I decided I wanted to read the chapters that had been released in English up to this point. The reveal of Hanaya's face and its trunk carrying the decapitated head of the director really entranced me in the horror and mystery of this manga. What made Hanaya this way, and why would Hanaya kill the director? Well, the last one was probably an obvious answer, but all of this is answered in the translated chapters of the manga, thankfully. But some answers like what's the ending or what happened after, I may very well never find out. You might be asking,
Vinny, why don't you just search the ending up on Reddit or Google?
well, my dear viewer, I just don't wanna. I wanna read the ending of the manga for myself, even if that means learning Japanese. But I don't have the time for that right now, so who knows, I might just end up googling it in the future.